Hi, this is Jessie with Pretty Presets. Today I'm going to show you 3 edits from last week's editing recipes. I'm going to go ahead and show you the first 3 edits from that post. So here you can see the straight out of camera image. Here you can see the first edit. And then here you can see the second and the third. So I'll go ahead and move over to the Develop panel and open up the limited edition summer collection. That first edit I started off of Color Reach, so I'll go ahead and apply that preset. It did leave my image a bit bright, so I'll go ahead and manually bring that exposure down to about 0.07. See if I can get it there. Goodness, okay. And then I'll also go down here to the workflow collection and I'll use this exposure recover clipping. And that's going to bring anywhere where that detail is getting lost in here, just bring that back a bit. Okay. Now next I'll go ahead and start on my brushwork. So the first thing I would do is use the Skin Smooth brush from the portrait set. Go ahead and zoom in a little here. And I would go over all of her face here. She has really nice skin, so she doesn't need a whole lot. I usually have my flow on about 50, and my density somewhere around 40 or 50 as well. Okay. I would also go ahead and do her arm and her neck. And then also her legs. Okay. Then you can notice that her foot has some redness going on in here. So I would go ahead and open a new brush. And for this brush, I would choose Fix Reds. That is from the Baby collection. And go ahead and run that all over her foot here. Maybe get this one a little. And then I think I would probably do another brush here. This time, also from the Baby collection, but I would go ahead and use the Fix Magenta brush and do that one right over this. Oops, opened up that other one on accident. There we go. Okay. And brush that one over again. Okay. There we go. Now for my next brush, her neck is just a little bit dark. So I go ahead and use a Light Up Shadows brush. Right in here. Just in this area around her neck and maybe just barely around the sides of her face there. And just a little bit in there too. Okay. Okay. Now for my final brush here, I suppose I'll probably use 2 more. Go ahead and use the Fix Reds one more time and just run that over her neck area. And then for my final brush, hit New one more time. and go down to the Reduce Shine brush. Zoom in on her face here, and I would just go over this area of shine here on her cheeks and her nose, and a little on her forehead here. Okay. And once that catches up here, we'll go ahead and zoom out. There we go. Go ahead and add contrast a lot. And close my brushes here. Once that catches up, then I will go ahead and open the film collection here. Use add grain 1. I always add grain to my images. That is personal preference. And then I'll come down here, and to finish up this image, I will turn on Enable Profile Corrections. This just corrects any distortion in your image. And might as well remove the chromatic aberration as well. And there we go. And this image is done. If you wanted to, you could pull the saturation down just a little here, maybe the vibrance just a little. And that's just personal preference as well. So there's edit number 1. Now for edit number 2, we'll go ahead and instead of completely starting over, I'll go ahead and create a virtual copy of this image. There we go. I'll go ahead and reset the settings on that one. This is something that you can do if you want to play with multiple edits, but you don't want to do your brushwork over and over again. So then you'll take this first image. This is all your brushwork as well as an edit. But what you can do is select this one, select this one, choose Sync, check None, go ahead and check the process version back, and then just check the brush. Synchronize. And now, this image won't have an edit, but it will have all your brushes. So you can, as soon as it catches up here, I'll open the brushes up. There we go. So you can see our brushwork is done there for you now. So now we'll go ahead and work off of this image here. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and work off of this one here. So this is your straight out of camera image, but with some brushwork done. So for that second edit, I used Aquarius from a collection that is now retired, but it was a great collection. So definitely something to keep in mind if you've been hesitating on a purchase. Some of these collections are limited and they do retire, many of them. So if you want to buy one, get them while they are available. Okay, so here is Aquarius version 1. It looks really good here on this image. I left it a little bit dark, so I might go ahead and use Brighten a little and Lighten shadows. I'll probably go ahead and recover the clipping as well. Well, I don't quite like what that did. I'm going to undo that. Go ahead and just pull this down just a tad. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and add contrast a lot. warm the image slightly. Come up to film, add grain. Come down to profile corrections, turn them back on. Some presets will turn lens corrections on or off. Go ahead and enable profile corrections and remove chromatic aberration. And then one thing I forgot to show you on that first image is how to add a blur filter. This is a bonus set that came with the complete collection. So I would go ahead and add blur to the bottom of this image. I think I like add blur bottom 3. Okay, so that kind of adds some blur there. One thing that you can do is open up your your graduated filters. Click on that, right click it, duplicate it, and then you can add so now you'll have 2. You can kind of stagger them, which will just kind of fade it a little better. Oh, there now I have a 3rd. So I don't necessarily need 3, but you can play around with that, okay? If you have that collection, that is. Go ahead and delete those off of there. Okay, so that's what that looks like. So now let's go back in our history here. To right before we added that preset. Here we go. So now we're back to our straight out of the camera image, but with our brushwork done. So now we can move on to that 3rd edit. And that one was from this matte collection. That was Dusty Film Black and White. So I'll go ahead and add that now. It's really pretty as is, but I think that I want to add a little more depth. So I'll go ahead and come down here and add contrast a lot. There we go. Now you'll also notice that we need to open up our brushes and remove this one here because we don't need to correct the red in her foot. You can see that it's leaving green on her foot in this black and white conversion. So we'll go ahead and delete both of those brushes. And we can come up here and we can also delete this Fix Magenta brush. These other ones should be okay. They shouldn't have any color in them, but we can double check. This should be a light and shadows brush. Looks like it is. Oh, no, actually this one looks like it's a Fix Reds brush. We better get rid of that one. So good thing we checked. Go ahead and check this one. This is to reduce the shine, and this is the Skin Smooth brush. So it looks like I accidentally deleted my light and shadows brush on her neck. So I can go ahead and add a new brush here and add that one back in. Just lighten that just a little. Okay. All right. Close these here. Okay. So now you can see that's a really lovely black and white edit there. Here's our color edit, here's our black and white edit, and here's our second color edit. This one is a little more creative. This one here, okay? You can see here's the original image there. All right, I'll see you guys next time.